All right, everybody, welcome back to the Problem Tenant Chronicles.
Yeah,
It's Wednesday,
it is.
which means we're back
Back in the saddle again.
with another deep dive, and you know it.
Here we are.
Today, we are talking about the questions that you guys have sent to us.
Absolutely. Lots of great questions coming in.
Really good questions.
Really interesting.
yeah.
I do think.
Makes you think about things. And before we get started, I do want to give a shout out to our sponsors over at
Yes.
Flowers and Associates Property Rentals.
Love these guys.
They're the experts
They are.
when it comes to special needs housing.
Absolutely.
And, they offer free workshops.
I love that they do free workshops.
If you guys want to get in touch with them,
Yeah.
you can give them a call at 901-445-8148
That's the way to do it.
or visit them online,
All right.
flowersandassociatesbooking.com.
All right. So are we ready to jump in?
I think we are ready to jump in.
I'm excited. Let's do it.
We had a question from Jake from Ohio.
Oh, yeah, Jake.
And this is a kind of a
This is a heavy one.
scary one. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
He's talking about a tenant who is threatening him
Uh-oh.
with physical harm.
Yeah. So this is really serious. Obviously, we want to make sure everyone's safe.
Right.
And the first thing is, like, when you're in that moment,
Yeah.
if you feel threatened,
Yeah.
don't wait. Call 911 immediately.
Right.
Like that's the priority, right?
Safety first.
Safety first.
But I'm wondering, like, what are some of the things that
Yeah.
landlords can do to kind of prevent situations
Right. Well, that's a great question.
like that from happening?
Yeah, because it's you don't want to get to that point
Right.
where you're feeling threatened and unsafe.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things is tenant screening.
Yeah.
Really thorough background checks. That's your first line of defense.
Yeah.
And a lot of times those background checks can actually reveal past evictions that are related to violence.
Really?
So that's a huge red flag.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, it's something to look out for. And, contacting previous landlords, that's gold right there.
Yeah.
They can give you really valuable insights into a potential tenant's behavior.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And then, when you're signing the lease,
Uh-huh.
make sure you outline very clearly the consequences of any violent behavior,
Right.
including immediate eviction. Like, that needs to be crystal clear.
Okay. So it's like you're kind of setting the ground rules from the start.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, lay down the law.
Well, let's switch gears a little bit because
Yeah.
we got another question.
Right.
And this one is from Alicia from California.
All right, Alicia, what do you got for us?
And she's dealing with a tenant
Uh-oh.
who just seems to have a maintenance request
Oh, boy.
for everything.
It's never ending, right?
It's like every week she's getting something else.
The maintenance requests just keep on coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tricky because you want to be responsive.
Right. You want to be a good landlord?
You want to be a good landlord, but you also have to protect yourself legally.
Exactly.
So what I always recommend
Yeah.
is when a tenant reports an issue, respond promptly and in writing acknowledging their concern.
Right.
But this is the crucial part, Alicia. You got to verify the issue yourself.
Okay.
Don't just take their word for it. Go see it for yourself.
So I'm actually going over there and I'm looking at it.
You got it.
Okay.
Take pictures, take detailed notes. This is going to protect you from any potential fraudulent claims.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, sometimes you get those tenants that are a little
Trying to work the system.
trying to work the system a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
So if it's a legitimate repair,
Yeah.
you get it done
Get it done.
within the time frame
Yeah.
outlined in your lease, and of course according to your state laws.
Of course.
But if it's not,
Yep.
if it's not a legitimate repair,
Yeah.
document why it's not a repair
Right.
and communicate that clearly to the tenant.
Okay.
So everybody's on the same page.
So documentation is really important.
Documentation is key.
Okay.
It's your best friend in these situations.
All right. Well, speaking of documentation, we have
Okay.
another question that is
Bring it on.
it's a little bit of a nightmare.
All right.
This comes from Marcus in Texas,
All right, Marcus.
and he is dealing with a tenant whose guests are constantly parking
Oh, no.
in restricted areas.
The parking wars.
The parking wars are real.
They are very real.
So what is he supposed to do about that?
Yeah, it's all about clear communication and consistent enforcement, Marcus.
Okay.
It all starts with a detailed parking policy in your lease.
Okay.
Spell out exactly where guests can and cannot park.
All right. So we're really specific.
You got to be super specific.
Okay.
No ambiguity whatsoever.
All right.
And then when the issue arises,
Inevitably it will.
it always does.
Yeah.
You start with a friendly written reminder.
Okay. Just a little reminder.
Okay, just a heads up, remember,
Right.
this is where you can park, this is where you can't park. But if it persists If they keep parking in the wrong spot, you issue a formal warning
Okay.
referencing the lease and stating that continued violation will result in towing at the owner's expense.
Okay, so we're getting serious now.
Now we're getting serious.
Oh.
And of course, make sure you're following all local towing regulations to the letter.
So you're not getting yourself in trouble.
Exactly.
Oh,
Don't want to create more problems.
All right, so clear signage.
Clear signage.
Consistent enforcement.
Consistent enforcement.
That's what we're learning.
That's the name of the game.
Okay, well, we have a question here
Hit me.
that I think every landlord
Oh, boy.
Brad's.
This is the one we all hate.
This is it. This is the one.
Lay it on me.
Security deposit disputes. Bella from New York wants to know how to avoid these battles.
Oh, Bella, I feel your pain. I really do.
Right.
These can be such a headache.
Yeah.
But listen, meticulous documentation is your saving grace here.
Okay.
So before the tenant moves in,
Okay.
take dated photos and videos of every single nook and cranny,
Of the whole place.
the whole place.
Okay.
I'm talking everything.
Everything.
Use a checklist. Note the condition of absolutely everything.
Okay.
And then when the tenant moves out,
Yeah.
you do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
You compare
The before and after?
before and after exactly.
Okay.
And if there are any deductions,
Yeah.
you provide a detailed itemized list
Uh-huh.
with corresponding photos, receipts, the whole 9 yards.
So we're really proving
You're proving it.
that this damage was done.
This is what it looked like before. This is what it looks like now.
Right.
Here's the proof.
And we're not talking about normal wear and tear, right?
Exactly. You can only deduct for damages beyond normal wear and tear.
Right.
So make sure you're clear on your state's definition of what constitutes normal wear and tear.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, because it varies from state to state.
Right? Well,
You got one more for me.
I do. All right, let's do it.
This one comes from Ethan in Florida,
All right, then.
and he's wondering what happens when a tenant refuses to sign
Oh, boy.
a lease renewal.
That's a tricky one.
What are his options?
Yeah. So, Ethan, this really depends on the type of lease you have.
Okay.
If it's a fixed term lease,
Uh-huh.
you're generally not obligated to offer a renewal
Wow.
unless local laws say otherwise.
Right.
You always want to check those local laws.
Okay.
However,
Yeah.
you need to provide a written non-renewal notice
Okay.
within the legally required time frame,
Okay.
which is typically 30 to 60 days before the lease expires.
So we're giving them plenty of notice.
Plenty of notice.
Okay.
So what happens if they just stay put?
That's what I was wondering.
After the lease ends,
Yeah.
that's when they become what's called a holdover tenant.
A holdover tenant.
Basically, they're occupying the property without a valid lease agreement.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. This can get legally tricky.
Okay.
Each state has specific procedures for handling holdover tenants, often involving formal eviction notices and court proceedings.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So if you're dealing with a holdover tenant,
Yeah.
it's best to consult with a lawyer.
Yeah. Get some help.
Get some legal guidance.
All right. Well, I think we have officially covered
We did it.
all of the questions
We tackled them all.
that were sent to us.
Some tough ones today.
The really good ones.
Yeah, a lot to think about.
But, it just goes to show that
That's true.
being a successful landlord is not easy.
It's not for the faint of heart.
It's not, you
Yeah.
gotta,
It's a lot of responsibility.
it's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
You know?
It's rewarding, though.
It is. It is.
It can be very rewarding.
I can know what you're
You
doing.
got to know what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And you got to know your rights and responsibilities
Stay informed.
as a landlord.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's a good
That's a good takeaway.
takeaway. Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
In this business, for sure.
Well, that wraps up another Problem Tenant Chronicles deep dive.
We made it.
We made it.
Until next time.
Until next time, make sure you guys
Stay tuned.
keep those questions coming.
And keep those questions coming. We'll be back
We're here to help.
next Wednesday with another deep dive.
See you then.
See you then. Bye, everybody.
Bye.